Hey guys, I'm still sick, but it's about time that we talk a little bit about BTS and the Speak Yourself tour. So, real quick, I'm actually going to split this out. Bam. So I can see you guys and you guys can still see the stream properly. So, what I'll leave this on for the moment is this, but how are you guys doing today? How are y'all? Is everything going good with you? So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about buying some of these lovely BTS tickets that are going to be going on sale. So, in case you did not know, for some reason, I don't know why you'd be here if you didn't know this, but BTS announced the Speak Yourself tour. And with the Speak Yourself tour, they're going to be going to a number of stops, and it is a stadium tour. Not a lot of official information is out yet, but we do know certain things like the exact locations and what days they are going to be. We also know the on sale date. So let's just kind of go over some of the information for this tour. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and just let me know and I will make sure that I take a look at that. But for right now, let me go ahead and let's jump into this. So in the US, there's going to be 3 stops, but those are not the only stops. So let's just go over all the stops real quick. So the first stop is going to be in LA at Rose Bowl Stadium, which has about a 90K capacity, 90,000 people, on May 4th. On May 11th, they'll be at Soldier Field in Chicago, which I believe has about a 62K capacity. On May 18th, they'll be at MetLife Stadium, which is in New Jersey, which is where Giants and the Jets play. And that stadium has I think it's about an 80,000 person capacity. So these are big, big stadiums. After that, they will be leaving North America and they will be going to Brazil, Sao Paulo. They're going to the Allianz Parque. I believe, if I remember correctly, that was like another massive stadium as well. I think that was another one of like the 90K stadiums. It was a big one, but I can't remember the exact size for that one. And that's going to be on May 25th. Then they'll be going to London for Wembley Stadium, which is another 90K capacity, on June 1st. On June 7th, they'll be at the Stade de France in Paris. And then they are also doing stops in Japan. They will be in Osaka at Yanmar Stadium Nagai on both July 6th and 7th. And then they will be in Shizuoka Stadium Ekopa and Shizuoka on the 13th and the 14th. So there's a bunch of stops, but there aren't like an excessive amount of stops. So one of the problems, well, before I even get into one of those problems, one of the good things is that we do know the on sale. So as you can see here, it lists the different on sales. For North America, the on sale is actually, so far for all the currently announced ticket opens, they are all on March 1st. So March 1st, whether you're in North America, Brazil, or in Europe, tickets go on sale on March 1st. The time is different. In North America, it is 10 a.m. venue time. So for New Jersey, that's 10 a.m. Eastern time. For Chicago, that's 10 a.m. Central time. And then for LA, that's 10 a.m. Pacific. So plan accordingly if you're going to something that's not in your time zone or is in multiple different time zones. And there are, let's see, and that's all on March 1st. So the London show, the one at Wembley, that the on sale time is at 8:30 a.m. And if you're going to the Stade de France, then on sale is at 9 a.m. And those are venue time. So keep in mind venue time, not your time. But so far that's about the extent of the exact information that we have. I did reach out because according to, and I can show you the tweet over here. So according to Live Nation UK, which is handling the London stop, the tickets are actually going to be physical tickets only. So I was curious about that because physical tickets only means that it's going to stave off some of the scalpers, which is great. Obviously, it's not going to stop all scalpers, but it will stop some of them, especially if those tickets aren't sent out right away, but if they're sent out closer to on sale. So that was one potential benefit, and that looks like the way that Wembley will be handled, and I think potentially the Stade de France will be handled. I did reach out to MetLife, and I confirmed that MetLife will have both physical and e-tickets. So there's no physical ticket only, at least for MetLife. I didn't check with Soldier Field or Rose Bowl Stadium. Okay. One of the other big things that MetLife did confirm, and that was, I'm not sure if it was on this page. I think it might be on the other page. So on this page, you'll see here, my cat is being trouble. Okay. So on this page, you'll see that the tickets, while we don't have the exact price breakdown right now, the tickets are between $60 and $250 plus fees. There will be a seated floor. So as you can see here, after the prices, it lists the floor will have ticketed reserved seating for this event. It is subject to change, but that means that you will have a seat. If you purchased a seat to sit on the floor, so where there's usually a pit and there's no seating, they will have assigned seats. So this is much more like how it is in Asia, where, at least in Korea and Japan specifically, where there is no, it's not open, it is assigned seats. Sorry about the coughing. Okay. But that is one thing that could be a benefit if you're interested in that. One of the other things is that if there is seated for all the venues, it is seated at the very least for MetLife, it most likely will be seated for Rose Bowl and Soldier Field, but neither of those I've seen an official confirmation on that. So there is still a chance that they may not be seated, but at the very least, MetLife will be seated. The reason why I'm going off a lot of what MetLife has said is just because MetLife has been, from what I've seen, responding the most about what's going on with this. So it's not that I'm in particular going towards MetLife and that's why I'm seeking information. I'm actually willing to go to any of the shows. It's just MetLife has been the most responsive in what's going on with this. So what else? So some other information that you should know. Actually, let's jump into this. So I found a tweet from this person, but I can't find it now. But there is, like I mentioned, pricing between $60 to $250. So here are the other locations. So this is the Ticketmaster link for the Wembley location, where it does have information about Wembley in particular. So if you are interested in getting that, Wembley Stadium does also have a fair amount of information. Rose Bowl, as you can see, Rose Bowl Stadium does not have much information. It has the on sale time and the time of the event, 7 to 11, and that's about it. I will note that it is a little bit different. Rose Bowl Stadium is 7 to 11. Soldier Field is 7 to 11. However, MetLife is actually, this is MetLife. MetLife is 7:30 start time. So that is a little bit different than some of the other stops. And so the prices that, from what I've seen, they seem to imply that it's going to be similar to the pricing structure as the regular Love Yourself tour. So if you saw Love Yourself tour, you saw the pricing there. That looks to be the range, with $250 being the high end for the US and $60 being the low end, which is not too bad. We do have increased seating, so that is another thing to note. Also, from what I understand with this ticket, you will, from what I understand, now obviously this might change since information is still coming out and we don't have everything final, but when you purchase a ticket, you will be getting a copy of the album, from what I understand so far. Another big thing to note is where the tickets are actually going to be going on sale. So for MetLife, it's going to be Ticketmaster. For Soldier Field, I believe it is also Ticketmaster, but let's actually just go double check and find out. Yes, MetLife, Soldier Field will also be Ticketmaster. And then Rose Bowl is Ticketmaster as well. So those are the three big ones. They're all going through Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster has changed things where there's a pre-queue now. So if you are interested in getting tickets, just because the on sale starts at 10 a.m., the pre-queue will actually be opening up most likely earlier than that, about a half an hour earlier. And so if you try rolling up 5 minutes before and you're not in that pre-queue, you're going to be stuck behind everybody that did get in the pre-queue ahead of you. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're allotting out time. If you're really crunched on time, it's probably going to be kind of rough on you, like if you're at work or something, or you're traveling at that point in time. But it's, unfortunately, if you're not in that pre-queue, you might get screwed. Sorry. But yeah, so far those are the things that we know for sure about this tour. Things that we don't know. We don't know exactly what this tour is. So most likely it's going to be similar to like the epilogue tour, where it is, we have the base tour that we had with Love Yourself, and then now we're going to get new songs from the upcoming album and a repackaged thing, but we don't know exactly what exactly it's going to be. The other thing, the one final thing that we really don't know is the VIP packages. There's been mention that there's VIP packages that might be available that would be over the $250. We don't know what that VIP package would include, what it would cost, nothing. In fact, other than the fact that the prices are listed as $60 to $250, the prices and pricing structure has not even been verified and will not be confirmed until day of, as far as what they're saying. So there's a lot of things that are up in the air as to what we're actually going to be getting, what the seating chart looks like. We're not going to know that. We are just going to kind of get to blindly jump and trust in whatever's going on. The other thing that we also don't know is who's actually running this. I'm not sure if it is Live Nation directly. We know that Live Nation seems to be taking point in the UK, but we don't know anything about over in the US. So it's kind of hard to know exactly how things will be run, if we're going to be getting merch, when merch is going to be sold, who's going to be handling merch. I know that previously on the last tour, it was venue staff that ended up doing it and kind of like There were powerhouse people that were helping along and keeping everything in order and keeping things running, but it was like venue staff doing the actual monetary stuff. So that might be what ends up going on. Hi, how are you? How are you? I'm losing my voice, so hold on just a moment. This is what happens when you're sick. I finally don't feel bad, but I can't talk for very long. So there's a lot of things that are up in the air, and I kind of just wanted to ask you guys if you had any questions about ticketing, about Ticketmaster. I know I've done ticketing often with Ticketmaster, with Access. Both systems have changed things a lot recently. And in fact, I just ran into an issue today with Access buying Astro tickets that extremely frustrated me. And it was sorted out, but it was very frustrating, and I didn't get the exact ticket I wanted because things had changed. But for the most part, Ticketmaster is mainly the same except for the new pre-queue. The other thing is with Ticketmaster, be prepared for like lag and fighting for the internet, because it can be really rough with Ticketmaster. It's first come, first serve. So if something happens and you get knocked out, you're screwed. If you can get your information with your card info in ahead of time, do it. But I've also seen Ticketmaster so logged down that it wasn't able to pull up my information, and I still had to manually input it at the time of sale, even though I was still logged in. So, have I ever bought verified tickets from Ticketmaster? So when you buy verified tickets from Ticketmaster, they are legit tickets, because pretty much what they are people, or even Ticketmaster, who has the tickets, and they're able to confirm that they are official tickets, and that's why they're verified. So when you buy it directly through Ticketmaster, it's a legit ticket. You're never going to have to worry about it not being legit, because it's, in order for it to be entered within Ticketmaster's system, it has to have been part of Ticketmaster's system in the first place. So, sorry, I'm still dying. Okay. So the tickets have to be from Ticketmaster, and pretty much essentially what's happening is Ticketmaster is just allowing you to relist it and taking the extra cut. So when you think about it, they take the cut when you first bought the ticket, and then if you go to try to resell it, they're just like, let me take that cut so I can resell it again. And Ticketmaster takes the cut off both ends, because it'll take the cut off of you selling the ticket, and it'll also take the cut off of the person that's buying the ticket essentially from you. But since it's going through Ticketmaster, it shows up. Well, the ticket, so if you do buy a verified ticket through Ticketmaster as one of the resale tickets, it will show up in your regular tickets in Ticketmaster. So Ticketmaster will store your tickets where you can view them either on the web or on your phone. And once you buy that ticket, it will show and pop up in there as your new ticket. So it'll pop up with the new event, your ticket, and it'll have the verified code too. So going through Ticketmaster, you're not going to have to worry about getting screwed over. But that said, you get screwed over by Ticketmaster because it usually costs more. But it's legit. You'll know it's legit. No, not a problem. If anybody's got any other questions, I can go ahead and answer them about any ticketing, really, because I know the BTS is this big one that's coming up. But if you have any questions about any other ticketing too, just let me know. I know one of the big things, at least with the BTS show, is going to be trying to figure out what is even what. Because whereas with most shows, okay, well, the pit seats are $250 and they're going to cost the most, and those are the ones that I want. Or they're $250, but I don't want pit. I want to sit in the next level back. But maybe say, because sometimes they even split pit. Well, they split the P1 where some P1s are seated and some are standing. And we're not going to know that until we actually get into the actual event and we're on the ticketing page. So if there's a specific price range that you're looking for, then you're probably going to be fine because you'll just be able to select the price range. But if you're looking for a specific section of seating, that's going to be kind of hard. So, okay, so let me start with real quick. I'll mention the going ahead and practicing on Ticketmaster ahead of time definitely helps. The layout is generally the same. I don't want to say that it's always the same. Sometimes there are some slight differences in the way that things pop up, but it's usually pretty much one of like two configurations. So you'll generally have the correct idea, and the flow of events is going to be the same no matter what, but it might look slightly different depending on the event. But as for the resale sites that are selling tickets, so I was curious about how that worked previously, so I looked into it. And so essentially when there are resale tickets that are listed before a show even happens, and they're like listed for a crazy price, that is the resale site saying, I'm guaranteed to have these tickets, and I'm just going to sell it to you now instead of make you wait until afterwards. So you're guaranteed those seats, and if they for some reason can't get it, they're going to get another seat equivalent to it. So the resale seats from resale sites are legit. I would never do that because you're pretty much, so it's pretty much it's like a big ticketing scam system, because pretty much the resale sites are able to scoop up their own sets of tickets, and then they're just reselling them, and they're just reselling them ahead of time, really. So those people, they can get them. It's not the brightest idea, but if they're worried and they're going to think they're going to pay resale anyway, it doesn't really hurt. But I would not really do that ever. Chances are you can manage to find something on the general sale. And if you really, really, really need to, you can still probably find a cheaper regular resale seat from somebody, anybody. Yeah, it is both scary and sketchy. I don't know why it's allowed, but the entire ticket sale system is messed up from the inside out. It really is. It's the fact that these sites have the ability to have this ecosystem where they benefit each other. So like Ticketmaster will help a resale site, will help their own resale as well. It's the same thing like with Ticketmaster. When tickets go on sale on Ticketmaster, you'll notice that there are regular seats that will go on sale, and they will also sell, quote unquote, I'm doing air fingers, premium seats, which are the same exact seats as the regular seats that you would buy in the general sale. They're just marked up because essentially those tickets are just coming from their own resale pool. So they're essentially taking tickets out of the general pool that exists and reselling it almost right off the bat. So yeah, ticket sales is not Not great. And there's not a whole lot that we can do. So, like, the only way to fix it, it needs a complete infrastructure change. And considering that there are only two, I would say two main ticketing sites, and they both do this, it's not going to change. Yeah, I've seen that video, and people shouldn't be spending their money and doing it, and it's really the worst idea ever. It's just, I understand that people get anxious, but it's really better just to wait, because yeah, sure, tickets are going to be expensive if you don't manage to grab a ticket on your own, but it's not worth doing it ahead of time. And when you buy that ticket ahead of time, you're just confirming that system that they're setting up, that it's okay for us to do this with all of our tickets ahead of time. So yep, Ticketmaster resale will pop up immediately. And those aren't even the Ticketmaster resale isn't even the premium seats that I'm talking about. Like, Ticketmaster will sell separate tickets as normal, regular tickets as premium seats. So, just if you ever are looking on the ticket sales thing, when it goes on, and you see premium seats, those are not resale. Those are just tickets that are marked as premium. So essentially you're paying like sometimes 4 times as much, like $1,000 for a $250 ticket, and you get to the venue and you find out you paid $1,000 and the person sitting next to you paid $250, and y'all bought them at the same exact time. It's not a great feeling. So yeah, ticketing is terrible, and there should be more clarity, way more clarity, but there just isn't for whatever reason. And people pay the price, especially if they don't know much about ticketing. They haven't gone to many shows. It's real easy to get real worked up and worried about shows. I mean, I'll admit, I go to a lot of shows, so I'm used to it, and like the resale. And I'll be completely honest, like, I go to a lot of shows, but I've only bought resale, I think like 4 times total, 3 or 4 times. It hasn't been that much. Just because there's usually other ways to get around it, to find those tickets. Like, what a lot of people don't know is that, especially if you live in an area and getting to a venue is really, really easy, then you can actually just go to the venue day of when the box office opens and check to see if they have tickets. The bigger the show, chances are they're still going to have some tickets that are going to be released that day. But I don't think a lot of people know that that actually is a possibility, so they miss out on those tickets. I've got a I think it was a a P2 ticket that I managed to get for a GOT7 show the day of. Like, I traded out the ticket. No, it was a P1 ticket. I traded out the P2 ticket that I had and I got a P1. So it's definitely possible. If it says no tickets available, how long would you keep trying? I usually, if it starts saying no tickets available, chances are, depending on the show, I'm still going to be trying for potentially at least an hour. The reason being is that when it says no tickets available, that means that there's no tickets that are sitting out there that are possible for you to get at the moment. But tickets go back into the pool. Somebody can't pay, their card doesn't clear, or something like I did today where I refunded my ticket. That goes to a ticket that, once I refunded that ticket got released to somebody else. So somebody else could have bought that ticket. So even though it says no tickets available, generally that's not completely accurate. You can definitely like still find a ticket, but once you start saying no tickets available, that it gets really, really hard, and finding those tickets is going to go to those people that never are stopping. I've seen people that manage to buy their ticket like 6 hours later, and they'll snatch a P1 out of nowhere just because something got refunded or something changed, and since they were still trying, they were lucky enough to grab it. So yes, if you go to the venue's box office day of, I've done it like I said, and I know a few other people who have gotten tickets day of. Like, I have a friend who went to one of the BTS shows. He showed up and got to the venue. I think he got into the show like a few minutes late, but he got the ticket that day, like literally right before the show started. So it's definitely still possible to get tickets way late, and official legit tickets too. Like he ended up getting a pit ticket a few minutes before the show starts. I was very impressed by that. But you got your ticket off of Access a week and a half before the show. Yeah, it's definitely possible to get those tickets. So you just have to kind of just watch for them and not give up. So, but this show is going to be rough considering that we know like no information. We know a general price range. We have the idea that it's supposed to be completely seated, which I don't know why there's a lot of people that are very upset about the idea that it's not a standing pit. And I will say I love a standing pit. I adore a standing pit. But when you consider the sheer number of people that are going to be there, and these are people that are not going to relax. These are people that are going to shove into you and push. And I mean, I don't mind it, but I feel really bad because I am not a tiny girl. I am pretty much 5'9", and I am no twig. So if somebody starts banging into me, I'm like a brick wall. And if it gets to the point where I need to start shoving back a little bit, like people just kind of just topple around me when it happens, and I feel bad. So I really don't like when people start shoving me and making me have to like put up my guard, put up the little block so that I don't have elbows in my ribs, because people are just generally smaller than me and I don't like having to do that. So yeah. Yeah, just watching the show, and what I've seen, a lot of people are just like, oh, there'll be a seated pit. I don't want to sit down and watch a show. And I'm just like, y'all really don't know, do you? Like, just because it's a seated pit, when it's a seated pit, that just means you have your own little space. That means you have your 2x2 square feet where you can dance and do whatever the hell you want, and you don't have to worry about somebody getting all up in your face and elbowing you or anything. You're still going to be standing. The only time I've ever sat in a seated pit is during a VCR. And let me tell you, being able to sit during a VCR is actually kind of nice, because you spend so long standing and dancing and having fun that like 2 minutes where you get to sit down every so often, it's actually really, really nice. Exactly. There's no reason that you have to sit. Chances are, if you're sitting in the seated pit, you're not going to be able to see anything because everybody else is going to be standing the rest of the show. But I don't know that there's any other information. You have to. You enjoy that space and it's going to be amazing. I don't think that there's any other information that we know for sure. Seated, price range between $60 to $250. Ticket on sale at 10 a.m. venue time. I think that's really it. There might be a VIP package. We don't know. We don't even know what that VIP package would include. Yes. Buying off of Twitter is one of the things that is really nerve-wracking for me. I'll be completely honest. I have both bought tickets and sold tickets off of Twitter. But the tickets that I've sold have all been to either people that I know either adjacently through a friend or people who have joined my group orders. So I've had some sort of interaction with them and they've had some sort of interaction with me. People that I bought tickets from were people that I've either known or I've had some sort of interaction or knew somebody that else. Although the first time I did buy resale, I did not know the person, but I was paranoid and I sent goods and services. Actually, even when I had people buy from me or when I've bought from other people, it's always goods and services. And that's just to cover everybody, really. If people are asking for different payment things other than PayPal, I can understand it. I can't understand it, but my first bet is, okay, well, why? That's the first question that would come out of my mouth. Why can't I use PayPal? And that's just because there are other, like, if I can't use PayPal, the only other two, the next main thing that I would be trying to pay with is Google Pay. Just because I know with Google Pay, if something goes wrong, it can be dealt with. Venmo would probably be next, although I'm a little bit more sketchy of Venmo. I'm doing wiggly fingers because I'm very uncertain right now. But yeah, you have to ask a lot of questions because most people on Twitter or even Facebook, that's where you're going to find most of the scams. Because people are just trying to get that extra money and they know that people are desperate or they just really... they think that they can get away with it a lot easier. And it is easier. But if you have even like the slightest gut feeling that it's just not right, you're probably better just not going with it because you're better off not being potentially out money or temporarily out money while you get things sorted when it's just bad news bears. I generally will stick to actual resale sites like StubHub, but yeah. Yeah, you gotta watch out for Cash App. Like, no. Like, Cash App is like an okay app, but Cash App has like no protection. So it's like, if somebody asks for Cash App, that's like an immediate red flag. Like, unless you know somebody, like unless you actually know that person, I wouldn't ever send through Cash App. Like, that's like my one of my friends, Ryan, she almost got scammed out of somebody who was asking from Cash App too. Like, Cash App itself isn't like a problem. It's Cash App the fact that there's no aid system with Cash App. If you get screwed over with Cash App, you're screwed over. So, yeah, you got to stick with the places that you can actually get your money back. So, PayPal. Hey, Lucy. It's ticketing it can be a dangerous. Resale can be dangerous. Resale can also be really easy. But it's one of those things you have to be really careful of. So, Did I manage to get AT's tickets? No. I tried. I tried really hard. Didn't though. And then I knew the fact, and the resale was like $250. And I knew that I had ticketing coming up for other shows, so I was just like, I can't do a $250 resale. I also didn't get, because I was broke the day the Icon tickets went on sale, so I didn't get Icon that day. But I did manage to get Icon tickets because a friend had an extra ticket, so I was able to buy it off of her for Face. So, yay for a successful resale. And still, let me mention that, even though I bought from somebody I already know and I've met, and it has somebody who has sat in my apartment with me, I still paid good old goods and services, because you know why? I just don't, I'm just, yeah. So I couldn't get the AT's tickets. I am going to Icon, which is South by Southwest, which is here in Austin. So I don't have to go anywhere for that. If getting Jonas Brothers tickets will be this stressful, they are reuniting. Aren't they just reuniting as like just Jonas or something? They decided to drop the brothers. I'll admit, I'm like at a very weird age where Jonas Brothers were kind of after I was in that age where they would have hooked me. Like, I was like right on the border edge. Like, some of them are older than me, some of them are younger than me. Okay, one of them is younger than me. But yeah, I imagine getting Jonas Brothers tickets will probably be stressful because they're pretty big. But it's this BTS is gonna be a mess. I still want to know who's going to be promoting, because there's got to be some sort of point person. Even if that is Live Nation, which it very well may be. But I'd like to know for sure that Live Nation is the point person here in the US. It would be very strange if it's the individual venues that are each just gonna host their own. I would feel like that would be very disjointed. Where am I sitting and how much does it cost? If you're talking about for the... Yeah, so far Live Nation has been... So like I mentioned before, Live Nation UK has been proactive. They've been actually giving people information, which you can kind of glean. Some of the information will transfer over to similar setups for the American side. But really, there's no point person for America. And for the most part, MetLife has been the most responsive venue. So, some seating plans for the US venues, I haven't seen those. If you can send me that, I think I have links turned on, then I will go ahead and check that out. That way I can show everybody what's going on. Will I be doing a group order for BTS tour merch? Yes. If they are doing tour merch again, which I imagine they'll do something even if it's not like a whole lot, I will be doing a go for that. So I don't know for sure if I'll be doing shirts and like hoodies. I will try. Again, I'll probably know a little bit more once the tickets are on sale. And I know for sure if it's seated. If it is seated, then that means I won't have to wait in any line. I mean, it's saying it's seated, but we'll have to see. I'm also not 100% sure. Let's go ahead and show this. Nice. If there's, let's see if there is a group order. Let's see. You suggest on refreshing? No, do not refresh. Do not refresh. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Let me pull up this link real quick, but don't refresh. Do not refresh, because if you do, it's going to mess things up for you, especially if there's a pre-queue. Because if there is a pre-queue, then, okay, so let me throw this on the main page here so that you guys can all see the seating chart. Let me pull this up. But if you refresh and you're in a pre-queue, you're going to get spit back out to the end of the line. So don't refresh. If there's no pre-queue, then sure, you can go ahead and try refreshing. Personally, I've had no good success with trying to refresh like that. So, okay, so these are, they look like general seating charts that they've had previously. We do see an extended stage. It looks like there's quite a bit of space in there. There's like four big sections in the front and then two thin sections. I wonder if those are actual pits. I wonder if I can pull this up on my phone real quick. But it does look like it. So when it has blocks like that, that usually means that it is seated. So that was Chicago. And then let's look at MetLife. So MetLife doesn't look like it's been fixed at all. Looking at this is just a generic, unless they're going to leave everything open in the center. That doesn't look like the final stage. So that's probably going to be modified. But this one for Saturday the 11th does look, which would be the Chicago, that does look like it's actually pretty accurate. Let me see if I can zoom this in for you guys. I'm already pretty zoomed in, but let's see if I can make it bigger. There we go. So it does seem like there's some extra stuff that's going on there as far as tickets go with that. So, do you suggest going best available? So if you just want tickets and you want to get in there, choose best available. Just select best available and go. If you want a really low tier ticket, like if you want something that's in P4 or P5, select those tiers. That way you're not going to be cycling. It's not going to cycle through and try to get you a higher ticket. It'll just get you the zones that you want. But if you want P1, P2, P3, then definitely just choose best available. How likely is it to get tickets near the front? Every seated show that I've been to, unless it's been like a pre-sale code that I've had, I have never gotten really close. But then again, I was talking to somebody today who just managed to get a very close row. I mean close row, I mean front row center for Astro. So yeah, I seriously doubt it's going to have a center stage, a circle stage. Plus circle stages, they make me sad. And I also doubt that they would have a circle stage at one venue and not at the other. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be like the Chicago, because that's the only thing that makes sense. To pray for you. Yeah, everybody's going to need all the help that they possibly can, because it's going to be a bloodbath. So I did the math a little while ago. So some people are just like, don't worry, it's not going to be too bad. They're doing 3 whole stadiums here. It's a lot of seats. But when you break down the math, it's less seats than they had technically the last tour. So the last tour, when you added up all the seats, which all sold out, I believe it added up to 290K, something like that. 290K, 270K. No, I think it was like 290K. Okay. When you add up the total seats that are available for these 3 stops, it's still a lot. But it's only like 240. So you're talking like a 50K difference, 50K less potential seats. So it's going to be a bloodbath in the US. It will be a bloodbath. I don't know. It should be. I don't know how much it's going to sell in the UK. Because when you break down the size of the previous ones, the previous shows going all through Europe, the total amount is less than the total seats that they're going to have this time around. So, I mean, I'm sure you're still going to have a fight, but I don't know what it's going to end up looking like. But I know that the US is going to be bad. Yeah, the 2 stadium shows are more than the total Europe shows that they had previously. So UK is getting more potential seats this time. US is getting less potential seats. So, yeah. I'm running out of a voice. So I'm probably going to wrap this up in a few minutes. So I know that in the UK, that's right. That is, I think, around, is it just before? I know that in the US, by the time these shows are happening, it's either finals for college or they're just getting out. I know personally, my school, I went to Pitt, and my school was out end of April. So I know there will be people that will be out for all 3 of the stops in the US. So UK is going to be in June, but the school runs a little bit later. So it balances out. Yeah, till the 24th. So you've managed to luck out. For a second, I contemplated going to London for Wembley. I've never been to London. I've always wanted to go, and it's 2 days before my birthday. But that still would be a lot of money. So I was just like, for that price, I could probably go to like 2 shows in the US. So we're sticking to the US for now. Yeah, I wish I could have seen them close to my birthday, but it'll be okay. So yeah, I still have to travel for the US stops anyway, because none of them are by me this time. Last time I had Fort Worth, which was like a 2.5-hour drive. But it's okay because my family lives in Jersey, so when I go back to that, it's like I get like pretty much free boarding unless I decide that I want to stay closer to the venue. So, which I did do for Citi Field rather than staying at home. I stayed closer to the field. So, woo! Jersey girl. Well, I was going to say born and raised, but I wasn't born in Jersey. But I did grow up in Jersey. Spent my whole life in Jersey. How different is a stadium from arena? It is more epic. Man, when I saw those fireworks, when I was at Fort Worth, I'm just like, this is awesome. But you're inside an actual arena. It's contained. You have things that go off, but it's contained. You have some fire, but with Citi Field, everything was outside. They shut off fireworks, and I was hyped. I was in it. Where am I from in Jersey? Blah, blah, blah. I can speak. Not really. If you know where Rutgers is, then you pretty much know where I grew up. I grew up, literally, I lived 15 minutes from Rutgers. So, yeah. Central Jersey girl. But yeah, no. Also, the thing is, so I'll say that I went to Citi Field, but I'm really excited for this stadium tour because it's going to be way different. Because Citi Field was 40K. All of these shows are bigger than that. Like, Soldier Field, which is the smallest of the three, is still a 20K, has 20K more. Like, MetLife has an 80K capacity. So, it's like, there's going to be a lot more. I've seen some pictures, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be too bad. But I am a junkie, and I like to be up close no matter what. I get upset if I'm too far away. This is partly because I'm part blind, I think. And since I'm part blind, the farther away I am, the less I can see, and then the less out of it I get. Like, the less into the show I'm actually. So I try to be as close as I possibly can. I generally don't like to get anything lower than P2. So. It's going to be crazy. Just imagine everybody singing at the same time in a stadium that large. Like, it's going to be crazy. Yep, it's like this feeling of detachment the further away you get. It's not like you're not still enjoying it. It's just not. It takes away a little bit of that energy. Being up close, right by the stage, or close to it, where when you hear the speakers beat, you can literally feel it pump through your heart. It gives this different feel. But that said, sometimes you can get that same feeling. Like, I think when I saw Wings tour in Newark, I was P2. I was close to the stage. I had like a really close, like close to the main stage of it. And even though I was further away, since I wasn't P1, but I was still in the seats, and you could literally feel the entire, like, you could feel the entire row in stadium shaking at Prudential, and it was crazy. It was really cool though. So I've done BTS Pit at Prudential. I saw them at KCON 2016. I was in the pit for that. I was in the pit for Wings tour in LA. And then I was in the pit for day 2 of Fort Worth, and then the pit for Citi Field. So, I'm crazy. I love the pit. I want to be close. I'm the kind of person right now where I'm prepared for this show, and there's a chance that if I don't pull a good enough ticket, I will probably end up buying a resale ticket for however much money I need to throw down. I don't care. Pit for Citi Field was a little bit scary. I was standing like 2 people away from some girl that unfortunately got like molested in the show, and some dude got yanked out. It was really, really terrifying, but damn, that girl's mom nearly ripped that kid apart. And I'm just like, he deserves it. But she did not play. Her mama did not play. You don't mess with a Hispanic mama. Nope, she did not. She looked like she was ready to hunt that boy down after the show and take him down. You don't know what is. Let me know what you don't know what is. I'm about to sign off though in about a minute, so. the pit. So the pit is pretty much, so like when you look, so like if you're looking at that image on that screen and you see how the stage kind of protrudes out, the pit is usually surrounding the stage. So everything where you see that's currently sectioned out is usually all just pit, and it's all grouped together. With the pit, what it means is that you go in to the open area and you just kind of just stand there. In this case, it's going to be a seated pit, most likely. So that means that there will be seats there instead of everybody just kind of just standing where they want. But yeah, it is time that I get going. If you have any other questions, just leave them in the comments below and I'll get to them. But yeah, I'm gonna head out now. Be ready for ticketing. It's coming Friday morning, 10 a.m. venue time. There might be a pre-queue, so be prepared to be there half an hour early. I know I'm gonna be sitting and waiting about an hour ahead of time, ready to jump in. If you're doing Wembley, it's at 8:30. If you're doing Stade de France, it's at 9 a.m. So go ahead. Thank you. I will try to feel better. And everybody have a good luck with ticketing, and I will see y'all. Bye.